Hello and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. So it's August 26th, 2018. It's been about 2 weeks since my last video. I took a week off because I wasn't feeling well, and I spent only about 3 or 4 days working on what I'm about to show you today, so I hope you are impressed. You see, today we live in a society where the developer or the person who talks the loudest or most assertive is the one that gets all the credibility, or the people that you stock faith in. And unfortunately, here at the Nimble Solution, it's not about hype. This is about pure code and design. So what I'm going to show you today is the results of 4 days worth of work building a prototype for a Trello Kanban clone in the Nimble Solution. I gave you a preview of the components. I'm going to just give you a brief look at the components one more time. This is just the main component layout, and by using and building this prototype, I was able to learn a lot about the Nimble digest cycle code snippets that I created. I was able to perfect the design, or I say improve the design. And I even refactored my original code snippet to be a little bit more robust and multi-instancing. None of these changes had effect to the runtime itself or the core nimbleJS. It was just a refactor on how you implement the design. The digest cycle that I show in my tutorials is for what I call a single digest cycle, or a single instance, like a to-do list, where the elements appear down a vertical display of a dialog. With the use of this prototype, or by building this prototype, I was able to make a much more complex digest cycle design. So I'm going to let you look at the results so you can see for yourself. Here we have a simple layout for a Kanban board. I kind of mimicked, I'll let you take a look at the Trello layout so you can see my inspiration for this. This is my Trello board for the Nimble IDE. This is where I would normally do all of my work. So I tried to mimic the design a little using the Nimble IDE. Again, this is only 3 or 4 days worth of work. It wasn't done for pixel point precision. It was just laying things out, getting them to react and show the way I want it, and most importantly, to perfect the digest cycle. The digest cycle is the ability to add these new elements across the page the same way you would on a Trello board. You can add all these lists that you can manage. After building this board, what I noticed is that I have a digest cycle embedded, or within this digest cycle, which is the vertical list, that as you add new tasks to any list, you want a new form of digest cycle to manage these guys. And once I got a good look at, or once I decided to build this prototype, is when I really started to see the power of Nimble and the way I could refactor that piece of code to be much more than what it currently is. So I wrapped it in a factory and made my digest cycle code a factory that you can declare within your project that will handle almost the instancing, and it will allow you to embed digest cycles on the fly and manage that piece of code and that piece of functionality in a very clean way. On the next video, I will let you look at the code. I'll show you exactly what I did so that you'll understand what I mean by refactor. It's not a rewrite, but I was really impressed with the results of this Kanban board in only 3 or 4 days worth of work. Kudos to Nimble, right? So that brings this little prototype to a close. As I said last season, the more I use to build a design pattern, the more complex the prototypes that I create, I'll be able to generate quickly. I will be able to demonstrate them and have a higher level of accuracy than probably any other developer on the planet. And with that, you always get those critics and people who criticize both the efforts as well as the quality of work. But let's face it, Nimble itself is not just about the product. I debut other like-minded JavaScript developers libraries such as VizJS, TiltJS, and all the other cool stuff that I've shown with this platform. Nimble is just a great tool that's able to bind all of this great effort by millions of developers across the internet into one place and let you see it live as I build it for you. Because see, critics and people who love to talk are very different from people like me and the developers that I debut. There's one distinct characteristic that differentiates us. Critics love to talk, and we love to execute. Thank you for watching.